This is the final new moon of this calendar year, which isn't the same as the astrological year, but it's still something pretty cool. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Crystal Sophia. I'm your friendly astrological magician, and today we're going to go through the new moon in Capricorn that's happening on December 30th, right around that New Year's Eve time frame. And we're going to discuss what it means in astrology and then a little bit about the magic you can use along with it. Okay, so what we see here on the Luna astrology software is December 30th at around 5:30 p.m. That's when our new moon in Capricorn, which you can see here, the new moon in Capricorn will perfect. That is when it is officially the new moon. The moon has conjoined with the sun and will now begin moving forward and increasing in light for the next 2 weeks until the next full moon. So this is how we identify on an astrology chart that it is a new moon because the moon and the sun are exactly conjunct. So every new moon will always occur in the same sign that the sun is in or the same zodiac season because the moon is meeting up with the sun. So really fun fact there to be able to track your new moons and be like, it's a new moon, but I don't know when. Yes, you do. Where's the sun? So when we look at the condition of this new moon, we first think about how well does the moon function in the sign that she is in, and that is Capricorn. Unfortunately, Capricorn is opposite of the moon's favorite sign, Cancer, the one that is considered her domicile. Therefore, it is considered her detriment. So the moon is in detriment in Capricorn. This just means that the typical nurturing, watery, emotional kind of community energy that we imagine from a moon or a lunar substance is actually not able to bring that particular trait forward. So the moon is now in an earth cardinal sign. The moon is thinking about foundational things that the moon can build on or that we can build on. So this new moon cycle that will take us all the way through the next new moon next year is about beginning things that we want to have established in the next year, which is why it coincides really well with the idea of New Year's and the New Year's resolutions that we make for ourselves. If you are going to commit to yourself in something, what is it going to be, and what are you willing to firmly establish in your life? What do you see happening that can take you through the long haul and endure, just like the Saturnian ruled sign of Capricorn? So with that, we also think, okay, if Saturn rules Capricorn, how is Saturn doing? Is Saturn able to give the moon a little bit of support at this time? So the moon and Saturn do have a whole sign aspect between them. That's this little blue line here. That's called a sextile aspect. So they can see each other on the chart, which is really a little bit helpful from Saturn. Now, Saturn is the greater malefic. So Saturn's going to tell you what to do and give you some resources, but basically let you do it yourself or figure it out yourself. That's kind of Saturn's vibe, right? So when we think about Saturn always ruling this, Saturn is in Pisces, not having a whole lot of essential dignity for Saturn's own sake. There aren't a lot of resources here. Pisces is not a sign of exaltation or domicile for Saturn, but neither is it a sign of detriment or fall. So this is something that Saturn is considered a little bit peregrine in without any kind of essential dignity going on. And we can also notice here that the next application the moon will make is that sextile to Saturn. So the moon's going to keep moving forward, and the next aspect that she makes will be this aspect to Saturn. So that really highlights that the closest relationship we have here as the moon separates from the sun is the one with Saturn. That is the potential energy we're working with. So again, it's really about that structure building, foundation building. How am I going to start something new that's going to carry me for the long haul situation with this new moon? So another thing we want to do is, again, considering Saturn, we also see that Saturn is still in this rather tight square with Jupiter. This is something that is a cycle within society. So this is just saying that we have come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years almost, and we are, as a society, beginning to grow new understanding, beginning to form new structures, beginning to have new philosophies that will support who we are now as compared to who we were then. Then being in a time that is pre-2000, especially pre-2020, when we had the last conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius, which was Saturn ruled. So Saturn is taking this theme and talking with Jupiter about, hey, quarterly assessment, how far have we come since then? And that does play a bit of a role into this lunation, which is ruled by Saturn. So again, think of how far you've come, think of who you are since roughly 2020, around that winter solstice time, and then think, who do you want to become? What new foundations are you ready to build upon that wisdom, that experience, that knowledge, all of the things that you've gained through what you've been through? One of the ways we might think about this is, again, we're finding rest in our own imagination, in our own ideals, in the things that are important to us. And we're saying, this is who I am. This is my space that I come back to. This is my center. So the affirmation that I have for this new moon for you is, I am safe and grounded. I am safe and grounded. And I hope you can really feel that, even though we're going through a lot of change right now, right? That Saturn-Jupiter square says that society and the world are changing. So if you've been feeling like there's a lot of change happening, yes, this is that time. This is appropriate for what we are going through. That is what the weather predicts astrologically. So you are not doing anything wrong. You are not missing anything. You are simply a member of this human society who is experiencing this change along with all of us. And you are grounded and you are safe. And in order to feel that more tangibly, you might imagine what grounded and safe looks like in your life. Meditate on your own energy, what it looks and feels like, and what daily life looks like when you feel grounded and safe. What does that tangibly, physically look like in your environment and in your daily routine? These are ways that you can then magically take this energy and say, I'm going to channel this and transmute it into something that actually shows up in my life. And that truly is magic. We are understanding the conditions that we have to work with. We're taking these resources that the energy is giving us, and we're saying, what is safety, and what does clarity, and what is centeredness, and what does grounding look like for me? Some techniques you might use with this are grounding, of course, and shielding in your environment. So when you're going out, it can be as simple as just stomping your feet and then you can feel grounded, or just say, I am grounded, and use that. For shielding, you can simply say, I am shielded. You can imagine a bubble around you, a wall between you and someone else, or like I like to, a glowing ball of kindness and compassionate energy just emanating outward from you. And that kind of filters anything else that might be coming towards you and hopefully helps other people and cleanses the energy around you in the meantime. Those are my little tips for what I like to do. If you want to practice, another inside hint is go to a gas station or go to a very public place. County fairs are typically where I would do something like this as well. It's a little bit cold for that, but places where people are feeling frustrated. This time of year, there may be people at different stores trying to make returns or getting frazzled. If you notice yourself in an environment where people feel frazzled, put that energy out there, ground yourself, shield yourself, and send kindness and compassion outward from you to see if maybe it makes just that little bit of difference for someone else. It can't hurt, it can only help. And I hope that this information has helped you. If you want more information, if you want to learn more about folk magic and astrology, including book clubs and monthly lessons, then you can join us in the Modern School of Ancient Wisdom Patreon. I will link it below so that you can see that. And you would be most welcome there with all of us. We have an amazing community there, and you would be an incredible addition that we'd be fortunate to have, I'm sure. So I hope you have a wonderful new year. I hope that this new moon makes apparent to you all of the things that you are ready to begin building. I hope that you see your incredible potential, that the journey feels worth the destination and the destination feels worth the journey. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of 2024.